With majority of the states in Nigeria having successfully conducted their governorship elections, some states will be preparing for theirs as the year 2023 progresses. One of such states is Bayelsa, with the governorship election set to hold in November. However, the various parties hoping to challenge the ruling party will have to put up a good showing if they intend to win in the oil-rich state. Joining us on this show as the parties gradually prepare for their primaries is Engineer Udengs Eradiri, Labour Party governorship aspirant, Bayelsa State. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dr. Abati and Ayo in the studio.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
To you.
Well, ahead of the primaries of your party, you've been talking about what you call the PEAP agenda. Please, could you tell us about this PEAP agenda and how prepared you are for this race? I know you've been president of the Joy Youth Forum. You've been involved in the Niger Delta Development Commission, but now you want to go to Government House. What is the PEAP agenda all about?
Okay, Dr. Ruben, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity and say that myself, Udengs Eradiri, I am prepared to take leadership. This is because I have gone through the process of grooming and studying under other leaders. I was one time Secretary General of the Joy Youth Council. At that time, between being Secretary General and the President of the Joy Youth Council, I brought a new era to the Joy Youth Council, where it no longer became the organization that was known as a brigandry one, but one that saw young, bright, educated young people taking a mantle of leadership, and the equation changed in the Niger Delta. We engaged in a lot of activities that have changed the lives of our people. The amnesty program, I participated immensely in it, and today over 30,000 young people are trained and can live a better life. I negotiated the peace deal that saw the Maritime University when I was president of the Joy Youth Council. Today, thousands of Joy youths are now going to school, believing that their lives will be better for the good. I became Commissioner for Youth in Bayelsa State. I started the youth policy because you needed a youth policy to be able to articulate some of the issues that will lead to development in the state. I organized a lot of programs that saw entrepreneurs identified in Bayelsa, and today a lot of them are doing well because we were able to link them with government. I became Commissioner for Environment in Bayelsa. I first of all revived the morale of the workers, and we used that morale booster to look at the various areas that affected the lives of our people in the state. First, we were going after fake goods in the state. A lot of goods that come in were fake. We were able to use that morale booster to, instead of workers going to be collecting monies from supermarkets, we were identifying these goods and then going after them with a bid to ensuring that Bayelsas get quality goods. The forestry department, I reorganized it and started generating real resources for the state government. I put in place the climate change department that we were able to go to COP25 in Spain, which set the foundation for the governor today to go to Glasgow to discuss and articulate Bayelsa issues. So having gotten these experiences and then going to the NDDC, at the NDDC level, the scholarship program was abandoned for a while. I was able to activate the scholarship scheme to come back on stream. We set a lot of programs, educated the Niger Delta people. We started the talent hunt, which we used to identify real talent in the Niger Delta. We did the drug abuse program, where we were going to secondary schools to give electronic tabs, fully subscribed by MTN, the U-Lessons tabs to young kids, the brightest kids in secondary schools across the Niger Delta states. So having gone through this process, seeing the nakedness of neglect in the Niger Delta, and participated, worked under leaders and former governors, I believe that I have what it takes to lead Bayelsa State. And that's why I've come up with this simple agenda, PEAP Agenda. It is P for the people. You must have the people on your side. The people must understand the vision that you are bringing to the table. So I've said that for you to be able to succeed, and all the other positions I have succeeded is because I worked with the people. So we need to have the people run a participatory leadership so that the people can understand that, yes, the Bayelsa, everybody must bring their hands on deck and work together to change our state. E in that agenda is education. Our educational facilities are moribund. We need to upgrade our educational facilities, train teachers, employ more teachers. We need to build hostels for the university students. We need to teach university management how to run autonomous universities. Because we can't be talking about university autonomy without building the capacity of the university managers for them to be able to truly run a university that can be a community for the young people, universities that will serve as work environments for those who are indigent. So for me, the Peap Agenda is talking about skills development. We need to develop skills of our young people. We have a lot of young energies available in our state, where because leadership have not been able to manage the energies of young people, they are channeling it into negative activities, prostitution, drug abuse, and all kinds of things. I think that I am well positioned to tap from the experiences of the elderly and the experienced and the retired, and then the young energies of the young people. I want to bring all that together and direct Bayelsa to a productive end. Agriculture, in the Peap Agenda, I talked about agriculture. It is agriculture that we are going to revive our state with. In Bayelsa, if you come to Bayelsa, Dr. Ruben, sugarcane is growing untamed in southern Niger. Dangote came out with a report of over 400 billion that generated from sugarcane planted in Nigeria that was refined to sugar. So we can refine sugar in Bayelsa. Rice, if you talk about rice production, we have one of the best soils for rice production. It's not the one that we will be talking about, Peramabri. That is a wrong approach. Because we did not work with the people, we just brought a project and went to start Peramabri rice farm. No, Peramabri people are not original rice growers, they are fishermen. Otokpoti people in Bayelsa are the original rice growers. So if we start a rice growing program from Otokpoti, we can gradually use the processes to expand the rice program around the state. We have a 60,000 ton cassava processing facility in Bayelsa. As we speak to you, that facility is moribund because the people do not understand these things. So you must understand that the people must understand your vision so that they can take advantage of the investments that government is doing. The last is power. With power, we are going to drive industrialization in the state. If we have an area that you go there, there is power, there is gas power to that land, the lands there, you provide security. Once you advertise it, companies will come there, so far as the tax regime is favorable to them. So for me, I think that with a simple Peap Agenda, we can drive development in Bayelsa.
Thank you for sharing with us your Peap Agenda. But for you to execute the Peap Agenda, of course, you must get your party's ticket to being governor and then defeat whoever emerges as candidates in the other parties. It's Governor Udengs' first term in office, so he possibly might want to run for a second term. I'd like you to very quickly assess his time in office, he's 3 years in, and what you would do. You've talked about the Peap Agenda, but one of the key things that you talked about is the youth and not tapping the potential of the young people in Bayelsa State. Bayelsa has top 10, the highest unemployment figures in Nigeria. How would you assess Governor Udengs addressing this matter, and how would you do it better?
Well, you just answered the question when you talked about the indices that records Bayelsa as one of the worst. If you look at every other indices in terms of development, infrastructure, education, we are about the worst on the table. So it shows that something is not happening in the state. For me, I want to change that. And when you talk about his first tenure, look, in Bayelsa we have this unwritten rotational policy in the state, where from the east, after we started with Alamesia in the central, from the central I went to the east, from the east to the west. Now it's in the central. There is this belief that you have to do 2 years. But if you have squandered the first 4 years, then the balance is what I want, because I am also from Central and from Yenegua local government. So if we want to go by that, I am well positioned to wrestle for that position. Again, we're talking about capacity. At all opportunities I have given, I've demonstrated capacity. I've talked about how I'm going to harness the energies of our young people, the blessings of our state, because Bayelsa is a very rich state. And so if I am able to drive that agenda around young people who today are yearning for leadership, I know strongly that I'm going to win that election. Look, let me tell you, It's no longer like those days when you talk about incumbency power. What are they coming to the table with? They are coming with your money, your economy, your roads, your schools, because they are gathering money to come and buy votes. That's all they will come and tell you. Because there's nothing practically on the ground in order for you to account for the amount of money that have come into Bayelsa State. We're talking about flood. In the next 4 months, we'll be having a serious flood crisis in the state. As I speak, even with the experiences that we had in the last flood, the government have not done anything with respect to managing and controlling fraud. Rather, they are going to some communities and fencing the waterfront. It's laughable. I wonder the kind of people that are advising the governor. They are going to create embankments, have fence. What of the end of the community or the end of the fence? Won't the water rise to that point and come and flood the community? I think that they are bereft of ideas, and I have what it takes to change the situation in Bayelsa. Bayelsans are yearning for leadership, and that is the reason why I am going to every young person, I'm going to communities, I'm talking to the people, and by God's grace, by the time we come out of the primaries, I will be victorious in that process. I know that, yes, you will need to go through a primaries to be a candidate. The government tried to send their surrogates. I saw some of them yesterday when we went for the screening. But by God's grace, we will come out victorious in that process, because the people know that I am sincere. I have come from a background and a history of one who has kept a track record. Those track records will speak for me, and I will win at the polls. Well,
Udengs, a series of questions. If you just make the responses also short. Number one, Eradiri, yes, the incumbent governor, he calls himself the miracle governor because he says he came to power through divine intervention. And after that fashion, this time around, he's been chosen as the only candidate for his own party, the People's Democratic Party. So you'll be competing against somebody who believes that his emergence is propelled by the miracle from heaven. But what I want to ask you is this. Labour Party is going to do its primaries 13th to 15th from tomorrow, right? Have you been cleared by the
yes,
screening committee? And how formidable are your opponents? Number two, the Labour Party won in Yenagoa in the presidential election. But generally, we all know that Bayelsa is a PDP state. Are you capitalizing on the popularity of the Labour Party in the last elections, and that's why you have chosen Labour Party and not tried to choose another platform? Those are my questions.
Okay, first of all, let me correct this notion of miracle. Dr. Abati, our people have been so battered that we don't even understand some of the terms that we use. A miracle, look, when you break your leg and you rub nerve and bone, it's expected that in 2 weeks' time, your leg will be straight. That's not a miracle. But if you break this leg and nothing happens, before you know, you get up and you start running, then there's a miracle, something happened. In the case of Eradiri, Governor Dixon went to court because he found an infraction in the APC. It is expected that if he wins the case, it will be Eradiri. It's not a miracle. It was an expected conclusion from somebody who went to court. So when you use miracle, please, Bayelsa people, stop using it. We are abusing the word miracle. Look, the issue of Labour Party, yes, I've put myself forward for screening yesterday. I will come out successful, because that's the hope, and then go further to win the election. Yes, we know that there's an incumbent. They have sent all kinds of individuals to come and buy the party. People who obviously are serving aides of the governor are also aspirants in the Labour Party. Well, but people have exposed some of these things, and I expect that the party will do the needful. But even at that, I know that I'm going against a system that is in charge of all the forces. But by the grace of God, I will come out victorious, because the Labour Party must ensure that infiltrators do not come and take over the party. I have always told them that the issues that arise in the party should quickly nip them in the bud, and then let us move on as a formidable party. We are the ones to beat. The obedient movement, thanks to them, have been able to create a momentum in the country. I am going to work in on that. I'll be working on that momentum. But the truth is that I didn't go to the party because of President, His Excellency Peter Obi. No, I went because I saw the platform as one that is resonating with capacity, competence, and integrity. And I felt that these are qualities that I exhibit, so let me pitch my tent there. Thank God that the tsunami came, and today we are to succeed. Otherwise, I was there working towards delivering Bayelsa. The issues that affect us as Bayelsa people is peculiar to us as a people. Until we have somebody who can deal with those issues, even if we have 10,000 Peter Obis in Abuja, it will not save the situation in Bayelsa, except you have somebody who understands the issues in Bayelsa that will work with the leadership in the center to be able to solve the problems. Our issues are peculiar to us and need somebody who understands those issues to deal with them in Bayelsa State.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Udengs Eradiri. We wish you all the best.